Hello liners, today is another episode. I've got a special guest, Aubrey Mmakola. This man has been doing amazing. I mean, we've seen him in Skim Sam, we've seen him in Generations, we've seen him on the station, and then we saw him eating chicken. I mean, what's going on?
Oh man, yeah, it's one of those. I've never been an actor that does commercials. So basically, because I've always felt like there's no art that's needed there. Mm-hmm. So if you see me in a commercial, you must know that it took a lot of work to actually get it. Yeah. It's a commercial that wanted to get an actor, not a face, because I'm not a face, I'm not a model. I don't do such. So yeah, so that's what's happening. I've collaborated with Nando's on it, and Macro as well, so I'm on 2 commercials.
Oh, that's amazing. Aubrey, I mean, for the fact that you come from Limpopo, and we've seen you changing this game, having Limpompians.
Yeah.
In fact, if you've got a problem with Limpopo, we'll add another PO. So, I mean, how was to be growing in Limpopo and to be who you are today?
It's almost like I just had a very weird moment last week. I was asked to speak, motivate matriculants in Muvhango. Okay. So what happened was, when I got there, I found Griselda Kananda. Okay. And I've always looked up to Griselda. Never thought we'd meet, and this was the first time meeting. So it's one of those moments that make me realize how far I have come and how much this dream meant to me. Because people that I've always seen on TV, people that I've always seen as them living in a different world, I'm living in that world now on a daily basis, and it's amazing. You know, I grew up in Limpopo. This was never part of the plan. This was never part of the plan. It literally got to me when I was in matric. That's when I knew that I'm an actor. I've always known that I'm an actor, but I was just like, no. I'm an economist. You know, I'm going to do economics and all of that.
I mean, to be where you are today, someone has to be there in terms of having influencers. Locally, international. Who are those influencers?
Earlier this year, I got to work with one person that I've always looked up to. We all know Brasilo. Achimoroka, you know. We all grew up with that, with that thing of him doing the dreadlocks like that. And I've always loved Braach's work. And earlier in the year, when I got to be on the same project with him, and also as rivals. So of course, I was like the bad guy and he's the good guy, and then we were like literally going head to head. It was one of my dreams coming true. So Brasilo is one of the people that I've always looked up to. Obviously, you have other guys, especially in the theater space. Shabangu, these are the guys that influenced me a lot. And then international, I've always looked up to Denzel Washington, Leonardo DiCaprio, you know. So I've always looked up to people that I consider actors, not celebrities, because it's not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And what is that you're giving back to community in terms of empowering those who want to be like you? Those who want to be on cinemas, those who want to be on TV and doing ads, those who want to have this career as an actor. What is that you're doing in terms of empowering special young people?
I'll tell you this. I have almost all the time when I'm home, when I hear there's a community group doing this and that, I always go check it up and then spend time with them. They get excited, and then they get over the excitement, then we get to work. That's what I want to do. But it's so sad, like in Limpopo, there isn't really much of this happening. You know, most people, when they grow up, I also think it comes down to career guidance as well. A lot of people don't know that they can actually make this as a career. I'm 41 years old. I've never had a formal job in my life, and I don't want one.
There's no need for one.
There's no need for.
There's no need for.
People are still. They still don't see this as a career that they can sustain their lives with. So that's where it comes from. That's whenever I find time, I always do. But up here in Joburg, I have acting classes, because I know acting classes are super expensive. I mean, if you right now, if the kids can Google AFDA, you'll be shocked at first year you're paying over 100,000 rands, and not a lot of people can afford that. So I actually give acting classes for free. I dedicate my time on Saturdays to spend 3, 4, 5 hours with young artists, and then I give them classes.
I mean, you're a dialogue coach. What does that mean, dialogue coach? What is that dialogue coach all about? What is that you're teaching? What is that you're coaching?
Dialogue coaching is basically saying an acting teacher.
Okay.
Okay. But it is different in a sense that when you're working on a production, you, depending on how big a budget it is. So if they have a good budget, especially international productions when they're shooting locally, they'll have a dialogue coach. So that's someone that you can go to and say, look, I'm working on this scene and I don't get it, I understand what is happening.
Okay.
And then they can work around with you.
Okay.
And if there's words maybe that they don't make sense to you, to the character. So these people normally, they know the story in full. So they will break it down to you. It's actually someone that's there to help you with the scene, you know.
Can you tell us the challenge that we faced on the first set on TV? What was the most challenging part of acting or being on TV?
I mean, I think for me, the biggest challenge, not the biggest, one of the biggest challenges has always been language.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay,
I have taken up on myself to promote my Northern Sotho Sepedi language.
Okay.
So almost all the roles that I do are in Sepedi or they will be speaking English.
Okay.
So because there's so much Nguni dominating in the industry to a point where it's almost a qualification to be an actor. You need to speak Nguni. And firstly, one of the most interesting things was the first professional audition that I ever did when I left drama school was for Izo Izo 2.
Okay.
And one of the casting directors that I won't mention by name, she asked me if I can do the character in Zulu, and then I said, I don't speak Zulu. I speak English and Sepedi. And he said, no. If you don't speak Zulu, you're not going to make it in this industry. And that really hurt me because it was my first audition and I started doubting myself, what do I do? But I was like, I'm not losing focus on the goal. I'm going to stand up for the language. And instead of that breaking me, it actually made me to work 10 times harder to dominate in my language, which is why I'm one of the most dominating paid actors on in the country. And then some of it is just being maybe learning and falling at the same time, making some of the biggest mistakes that we do when you're young. You get successful young, you make money, you drink, you get involved in a lot of things that you're not supposed to, and then you have to get back on the horse, you know. And some personal challenges where I had to deal with depression after losing my daughter. I was 31 years old and she was 6 years old. That's basically one of the biggest challenges, and it's one thing that took me off television for 5 years. There's a time where I was not on TV for 5 years. I was battling with depression. I was also sick with a neurological condition, and I had to get back on the horse. And that's when, if you have watched in the last 6-7 years, I've been dominating. So that was a comeback from there. So yeah, those are the two challenges that I can say they have been in the path of me getting to be where I am now.
What is that you want to see changing in the film industry?
Look, I would love to see us tell our stories better, not more. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get you.
Yeah. I'd like to see us telling our stories better because there's been so many times where the stories and the authenticity of the stories been compromised, the quality and the truth in the stories been compromised. So I would like to see us being in a space where when we become producers and directors, we don't compromise our stories for ratings. We tell the story and then it will gather the ratings on its own. Unlike shooting something for ratings, we need to shoot it for the quality, and the quality itself is what should attract people to watch, instead of now trying to chase the people, you know, because we end up compromising and trying to Americanize a South African story, which doesn't work most of the time.
Acting, it's about character. What is a character? How do you define character?
A character is, you know, when you are an actual person, you have your flaws, you have the things that you're good at, you have your demons, you have your angels, and all of that. Characters are fiction. They are written, but once it's been put on paper, that person, it becomes your responsibility as an actor to bring those demons, angels, flaws, and all of those into real life, and they actually live. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I mean, there's been times where some of my characters come through to save me in a situation where I, Ops, wouldn't be able to get myself out of the situation, and then the character pops out of the blue and it does the things that it does, and then it walks away, and I'm just like, okay, cool, thank you very much, brother, man, because they're always hanging around us. Do you get what I'm saying? Because even if you finish with a character, there's times where you fall in love with characters so bad that they don't leave you.
Yeah.
They hang around for a couple of years, you know. There's been so many times where I'm at home and then my kids look at me weird and I'm just like, why are you looking at me? They're like, no, Dad, you look funny.
Yeah.
You know, because they cannot express what they see.
Yeah.
But then I realize, I'm in character, so I need to get out of character, you know.
So where do you want to go from here? Where do you want to see yourself?
Where I want to see myself is firstly to be in a position of influence more than a position of complaining. I want to get into producing full time.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
And also be acting. And I need to be in a position where even when I take a role as an actor, I know how much impact it's going to have. I'm already doing that.
Okay.
I don't just take any role that comes because I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I take a role that I feel the story deserves to be told and I feel like I'm in a position to tell it. If there's a role that comes in and I feel like, why did you guys cast me because you could have casted someone else because I don't feel this role. And then I simply walk away from it, you know, do you get what I'm saying? So it's to keep my duty is to continue telling the truth more than anything else and being as authentic as possible.
We come from COVID.
Yeah.
How the negative impact that this demon has had in your schedule, in your craft, in your family, in your businesses, the negative impact of this thing.
Yeah, man.
You know, the reason why I'm asking this question, I've been you know, that I follow you on social media, and you've been complaining about this thing.
No, it's been COVID crippled.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I had in 2018 I opened a school, which was a school of acting, and it was also moving as a casting agency. We had beautiful offices, everything was on point. 2019 we were at the peak because 2018 we were just trying to build up. 2019 we had found our feet, and 2020 was just the next step getting into it, and then it happened, and sadly we had to shut down our doors in July last year, and it was a little bit too late. Do you get what I'm saying? So now we're trying to get back on our feet. So we were right there and then it just took us back. And also personally I lost so many gigs when COVID hit, and with the kind of useless arts and culture department that we have in the country, they haven't been able to do nonsense. There was 300 million that was meant for artists, it just vanished. They have just made another commission to inquire. I mean, they're going to inquire and then that commission is going to have corruption. They're going to have another commission to inquire the commission of commission, which is just a waste of time, you know. So it's really been hectic on us, and most of the people that I know and myself, we've literally been able to get back on our feet only this year, and still not on our feet because you're literally trying to close the gaps and the damage control that was caused last year. So we're literally working backwards, you know. So it's been very, very horrible. It's been very horrible. Also with sadly some of the rates in the industry, they have dropped as a result of it, because you'll be getting in a production, they'll tell you how much the client doesn't have money and all of that and all. So it's been really very bad. It's been horrible.
So we do find you on social media.
On social media is Aubrey Mmakola _Mmakola, and then on Facebook is Ops Papa Khotatso, but Facebook is fuller and I don't like to create a page. And I'm not taking any more people. There's like 1,000 requests or 2,000 requests. I haven't taken anyone in.
That's too much.
Crazy. It's just red. When you open it,
those,
just red.
Those 2,000 are the ones from Pretoria, based in UK.
You know those ones. Hey, Mr. Mmakola, I'm from Pretoria, based in Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Thanks, man.